The term journey of discovery is appropriate tonight because Ruth Ezell's story is also about some journeys. Some made a long time ago, one made much more recently. It's about the past and the present, and it's about a discovery that ties it all together.
Let's do that one more time. Let's just pick it up just a tad, just so we get a cue in.
This dress rehearsal at the Sheldon Concert Hall was for an event brimming with historical significance.
We need to keep our intensity, our focus, and just keep the movement going, okay?
The conductor is Geraldine Rohling. Her own history is part of the bigger picture behind this concert, a benefit celebrating 150 years of ministry in St. Louis by the School Sisters of Notre Dame. In a few moments, you'll learn how a discovery Rohling made in Europe led to this special performance. An internationally recognized composer and musicologist, Rohling graduated from Notre Dame High School in 1970, went on to the former Notre Dame College and Washington University, then returned to the high school to teach music from 1983 to 87. Now based in Washington, D.C., Rohling came back to her hometown in October of 2008 for a musical tribute to the religious community that's figured so prominently in her life and career.
I find myself thinking of all of the sisters that had walked in and out of my life at different times. I find myself thinking of the stories that were shared with me in Europe.
Bavaria, in southern Germany, is where the School Sisters of Notre Dame traces its origins. In 1833, Caroline Gerhardinger, who took the name Mary Teresa of Jesus, began a common religious life with two other women. The community they formed was devoted to improving the lot of the poor through education. Honored by Pope John Paul II with beatification more than a century after her death, Mother Teresa became Blessed Teresa. She's recognized as a pioneer for human and women's rights.
She believed that a woman could be the leader of a women's congregation with no male director over her. And this was 1850, 1852.
Sister Judith Best, who has researched the congregation's history, was moved by the courage of Blessed Teresa and the generations of sisters who followed her.
The journey for me has meant getting to know our sisters in a whole different way. We're an international community, so I've done a whole segment on our sisters living under Nazism, under communism. Just marvelous women, and the gift our congregation has given, I'm very proud of.
In 1847, Mother Teresa, 4 sisters, and a novice came to America. They opened scores of parochial schools, academies, high schools, and several colleges across the East, Midwest, and Canada. 11 years later, another group of Notre Dame sisters arrived here in St. Louis. They opened several schools in the city and about 150 more in towns along the Mississippi, Missouri, and Osage rivers. At first, the sisters taught German immigrant children, as area bishops requested. But their mission soon expanded to include boys and girls of other ethnic backgrounds.
Positive ion is always first. The negative ion obviously is always second.
Today, the tradition of providing quality education continues at institutions like Notre Dame High School in St. Louis. Educators from the Notre Dame community, working side by side with lay teachers, now operate in 36 countries around the world. Internationally, the sisters marked 175 years of service.
I'm very happy being an educator, and I certainly believe that every day that I come to the classroom or to my school building, that I am touching the future for many decades to come.
It seems appropriate, even providential, that an academic endeavor by a Notre Dame High alum inspired this concert. Geraldine Rohling was studying in Germany and Austria in 2005. She had completed research for a dissertation on the region's various religious brotherhoods that existed in the 12th through 18th centuries. Her curiosity about 2 Viennese brotherhoods that performed sacred music led to a search of archives for the actual compositions they played. That's when Rohling came across the manuscript of the Jubel Messe, or Jubilation Mass, by Max Keller. To the best of anyone's knowledge, it had been performed only once. Keller was a contemporary of Mother Teresa and wrote music for the Bavarian royal court and the Catholic Church.
I found this Jubilation Mass. I got all excited. I went, wow! Because I knew a few of the other masses by Keller had been performed, and somewhat, but this was one nobody ever talked about.
In October of 1851, Keller premiered the Mass in the town of Altötting, where he was Kapellmeister, or music director, at the shrine of Our Lady of Altötting. The shrine was a place of pilgrimage for the school sisters of Notre Dame and for Mother Teresa, who happened to be a musician herself.
And this is the exact instrument that he played.
Rohling discussed Keller's life and times during a presentation at the St. Louis Mother House prior to the concert. She spoke of the performance version of the Jubel Messe she crafted from the original handwritten part books for each instrument. In 2007, Rohling conducted a revival of the Mass in Altötting to celebrate the 80th birthday of Bavarian native son Pope Benedict XVI. The performance at the Sheldon marked its American premiere. The concert, which included works by Mozart, Johann Michael Haydn, Johann Ablinger, and a composition by Geraldine Rohling, received high marks from the sisters to whom it paid tribute.
It brought us right in touch with the music that would have been in the hearing range of our own Mother Teresa and our early mother foundresses. And it also contained that reverence for the Catholic Mass that has inspired so many composers.
As I was telling the sisters, some of the sisters one day, I said, this is a page of your history. And I said, the composers, the compositions, the devotional site where these music pieces were composed and all this, I said, this is your history. This is your history taking on flesh and blood again.